Okay, dear ladies and gentlemen, of esteemed judges and fellow debaters, allow me to introduce myself briefly. I'm Erwin Indarto from Sapanjangkam Kudus Christian High School, and as the first speaker, I'm here to represent my team's agreement on the motion. Whereas the House prefers a world where environmental policies are created by technocrats rather than politicians. I agree with this motion, and to delve deeper into the topic, allow me to introduce this motion and announce my arguments. I believe that the House's opinion of preferring technocrats on deciding environmental policies stands true, and to further convince the judges of this motion, I will present some evidence which might support my claims. I will first define the limits here, from which I believe that the environmental policies mentioned here refers to policies which regulate environmental usage that have an impact politically. I would also like to define that technocrats are experts in science who have high-ranking positions in governments or in industries, and politicians are people who are professionally involved in politics and have political power in an office. Now, dear judges, allow me to argue about this motion. Environmental policies are best to be decided and created by technocrats because of their expertise in those fields. Hence, securing the rationality of these policies, added with the belief of that environmental issues need specialized knowledge, a long-term vision, and impartiality to tackle, a quality often associated with technocrats, which some politicians may lack. A source stated that one of the criticisms directed at parties and elected politicians is that they are not equipped to face the complexity of contemporary policy decisions. They are also criticized for being too focused on the short-term goal of securing re-election and lacking the independence to adopt long-term perspectives. To face this problem of contemporary policy decisions and tackle the short-term focus of politicians, most democracies have started to implement more scientific experts in their decision-making. For example, by creating independent expert bodies or by straight-up appointing technocratic ministers in government cabinets. These technocrats are expected to have greater expertise over specific fields and topics, since they were already trained and possess the technical know-how to design such effective and feasible policies, hence becoming more independent from the established political parties in the government, and not being too focused on seeking re-election, something which the political system hopes might regain public support. This evidence is supported by a research paper in 2022, stating that a case study from Italy found that the appointment of the Monti technocratic government in 2011 coincided with an increase in satisfaction with democracy and positive expectations for the country's economy among the citizenry. I would also like to argue that technocrats can foster better innovation and progress because of their long-term perspective, due to the nature of these environmental issues that are long-term, which require sustained efforts and planning. Technocrats can focus on the long-term aspects and impacts of their policies more, without the need to worry about securing political gains or being pressured by re-election, for example. Furthermore, technocrats are more likely to base their decisions on empirical evidence and scientific data, ensuring that policies are based on reality and not just by political ideologies. They are also better prepared to update and refine policies as new information emerges. With this in mind, I would like to remind the judges that some environmental issues are global in nature, requiring international cooperation. Technocrats who often engage in international scientific communities and such forums are better equipped to boost international collaboration and introduce policies across countries. Their global perspective can facilitate the coordination of practices and efforts to address global environmental challenges. Politicians, on the other hand, despite being crucial in some international negotiations, might prioritize national interests first before global impacts. And finally, dear judges, to conclude my arguments, I would like to reassure you that the creation of environmental policies by technocrats rather than politicians offers numerous advantages. Technocrats bring their expertise alongside their commitments to long-term solutions and evidence-based decision-making with a global perspective for addressing complex environmental issues. While politicians play an essential role in representing the public, the nature of environmental policy making requires specialized skills and impartiality, something that technocrats can provide. Therefore, I confirm myself to uphold this motion, which argues that the formulation of environmental policies should be better decided by politicians. Thank you.